Okay, so hello. Oh, we're up in Dijon. So, the gas leak is officially fixed. That is fixed. Um, I had asked the guy for a 24-minute splitter array configuration in Algowine's channel, which if you don't know who Algowine is, he's the guy that's making NCAD. Amazing tool. Did not realize that thing was so powerful. That guy is basically recreating the factory in a web simulator, and that is incredible. Um, like he should make that a whole game. Anyway, asked the guy for a 24-minute splitter, and him and somebody else were like, just use the the item control ports and limited 24. And in my head, I was like, well, yeah, I wouldn't ask for the splitter. Yeah, never mind. I had to stop and think. There are a lot of really dumb questions asked in that Discord because people don't read. So they just ask the craziest things. So I was like, you know what? Fair. But like, no, I need this full response. And so it was Algowine who actually came in and talked to me for a little bit. Not about the splitter, but I had posted like why I wanted it, right? Which is that I thought there was something going on with control ports and my production slipping by like 1 for a few hours in offline mode, and he confirmed that yes, that is a thing. Control ports on belts or pipes will cause a weird little slowdown when you're in offline mode, and it's been in the game since 1.0. Now, I've heard of this before. I heard of it before, but I didn't quite know what it meant because I never really used control ports in my builds. So it wasn't until now that I really ran into it. So, like, there were control ports in Marker Stone, but they were on the water pipes, and there's so much water moving through that it doesn't really matter if that has a slowdown. Like, it won't actually affect anything, as far as I understand. I've never had really a problem with Cuprium anyway. But what I did this patch is I used item control ports to mark things. Like the pack had control ports on it at the opening to say, hey, like this should be Zircon. And so I've talked about that before, so I won't go into it too much, but that's what alerted me that it might be control ports as I came here and these grinding units were filling up. Like they were really full, and I was like, what is going on here? And that's kind of what prompted me that something is going on. Now you see how this is like 0-0 of both sandleaf powder and iridium powder, but this grinding unit here is 16. It's because like the sandleaf has to travel over here. Once the factory starts up, that sandleaf has to travel, so it builds up a little bit. So it should look something like that, right? I think I need to fix this. No, I fixed it already. I replaced it. So that was like my indicator when I saw this thing being full. I was like, something's going on here. With all the grinding units filled up. So that's what alerted me that something was up, right? Oh shit. Oh, no. Okay, these ones are out. Okay, so that's what prompted me to do something, to connect the dots, that it might not be anything that I actually did wrong as much as just these control ports. Because my math should have mathed out correctly, okay? Now, the hard part about all this is a lot of this stuff wants like increments of 6. Namely, these transmuting units want to be activated. Transmuting units and the gas dispersing unit want to be minimally activated at 6 or above, right? So obviously we want to give it as little as possible, which is 6. But when you split stuff using splitter converger boxes, it's a 5-minute. It works in increments of 5, right? Because you have 30. You split it by 2, and it will be 15-15. You split it by 3, it'll be 10-10-10, right? So that was really throwing me. Actually, do I have my notes? I was going to show you my notes. So I spent some time trying to figure out how I can get this to work. Where did I write all this down at? Not there. Where did I write all my where did I do my little notes at? Because I wrote them down, I thought it was in here. Maybe it's on page 8 and I passed it. Okay, maybe not. Where did I do it at? I'm looking at my remarkable in here. I'm trying to figure out where I thought I did it in one of these two, but maybe I did it. I'll know where I did it because I did a whole... Hold on. I did a whole, graph of it or something. Alright, well, I guess I don't know where I did it at. Which is kind of weird. You know what? I bet you I did it in here on accident, didn't I? Nope, didn't do it there either. Okay, well that's kind of... Actually, let me open my Remarkable itself. Let me see if I have it just on here. Oops, sorry. I had to check a text real quick, but I'll answer that back. Let's see, where did I save you at? Nope, that's not it. Alright, well, I can't find it, so... instead of looking around... Oh, wait, there it is. It's just not updated. Oh, okay, it is updated now. Alright, sorry about that. That was a couple minutes wasted. Okay, this is my really bad... Oh god, you have to turn your... Okay, you gotta turn your head twice, but don't worry about this up here. But these are a little bit of my notes of trying to figure out if I can get a multiple of 6 out of 30, while only dividing by 2 and 3, which, no. Maybe it's possible, I think it is possible, I couldn't figure it out. So I figured out something else instead, okay? So, in the factory, a lot of things work with, like, needing exact amounts to get an exact output, right? So this building right here, every 2 seconds, it needs, this is the purification unit, right? Every 2 seconds, it needs 2 cuprium gas and 1 separator core. And then in 2 seconds, it will make 2 hedanite gas, right? So you need 60 cuprium gas a minute and 30 separator cores a minute, right? To get your hedanite gas, or 60 hedanite gas a minute, right? So you need 30 separator cores and you need 60 cuprium gas, right? That's what you need to make that. Now, if you cut it in half, where you need 30 cuprium gas and you need 15 separator cores, cool, but you're still operating in an exact amount, right? To get an exact output. These activation units do not work that way. They just need at least 6 units a minute. So 1 Sheerogen every 10 seconds. That's what it needs. Okay? And then for the liquids, you need 1 liquid Sheeronite every 10 seconds. Alright? At least every 10 seconds. Okay? However, the max you can give it is 60, I believe. Did it tell us? It doesn't tell us. But the max you can give it is 60, I believe. Or 30 a minute. I think that's what it is. Yeah, see the 30 right here. 0, 30. So 30 a minute, which is 1 every 2 seconds. What is going on with my game? It's being weird. Oh. Game? Oh, okay. That was weird. So, with that in mind, what I realized is, oh, I don't need a clean 6-a-minute split. I just need to get the amount required to these activators and siphon off however much I need for something else. Because the big thing that was stopping me is that I did all the pipe control ports in the last video I talked about with this, except the one right here that was 6-a-minute Sheeronite. There was 1 item control port coming out of the pack. And that guy was causing a slowdown on liquid Sheeronite production that still cascaded throughout the entire factory in Yingluan, right? So the question now is, how do I use all 60 Sheeronite and make sure I get the correct amount to where it needs to go, alright? Oh boy, that was tough, because I needed to get at least 3, actually it doesn't matter how much, but I'd say at least 3, preferably 6 if I could get it, down to Wuling City to power my Aquagen for the Eco Farm. Which, if I couldn't do it, it's fine, but I needed some way to either use that liquid Sheeronite, which is here, or process it in the fluid gas unit and make it Shirigen. One of the two, right? Because I'll need it in the future. Excuse me. So, what do I do? What did I do? Okay, now, I had already did some work the day before with the pipes. Do I have a picture of that? I do, but it's on my other computer. And I don't think I have any of my notes that are remarkable about it, do I? No, I don't. No, because it's my notepad. Where's notepad? Yeah, okay, so before I had the 24 limiter. So we had one belt of 30 a minute shear night, one belt of 24. Combined, I had 54. Right, so liquid shear night, 24 coming out of this right crucible, 30 coming out of this left crucible, then I would send it where it needs to go. So, first thing is this gas transmuting unit needs straight 30 liquid shear night. All right, no questions asked. It needs it. This is going to the gas globe, the pyrolite gas globe. Right, so that's this one right here. This conduit outlet feeding into this gas globe. It needs 30 a minute, so we just cut 30 off immediately. Okay. Well, okay. So before, when I was working with the 54, I needed to do some funky stuff. Sorry, I wasn't about to cuss. Some funky stuff where I ended up getting like 12 and 18 going in, which equals 30, right? But we're not gonna worry about that too much. I don't have that stuff. Now what I had though is a full 60. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. The reason why I brought up the 54 is because 54 is easily divisible by 3 and 2 to stay within the realm of multiples of 6. Okay. So, if you divide 54 by 2, it's what, 28? I think it's 28. But that doesn't matter. It's actually dividing it by 3 gives me 18. It's not 28. 27. I think it's 27. Wow. Okay, cool. Brain. So that 18 is very important because that's an easy multiple of 6, right? So 18 divided by, that's supposed to be divided by 3, right? So that's easy. Oh no, that was correct. It was 18 and equals 3. All right, so that was correct. That was done. And I'm able to siphon off some stuff and do bing bong, right? Okay, now I'm in the realm of 60 a minute, and then I already said how 60 a minute or 30 a minute, despite it being a multiple of 6, does not cleanly break down into multiple of 6 when divided by 3 and 2, right? So now we know this transmuting unit needs 30. So out of the 60 liquid shearonite coming into this, out of this crucible reactor, 30 goes straight in here, it's gone. So I'm only working with 30 here, okay? Now of this 30, I need to send 6 to this gas unit to power it, 6 to this gas unit and power it, and then there was a third one that also needed 6 to power it, and then in here I needed to make 6 more Shirigen, or at least 2 more Shirigen to transport to all this, okay? Okay? That's what I needed. As I was looking at it more and more, let me pull it up. Okay, so this is not what I had, but it'll work for now. I wish I had the other version, because this was up top. This down here was up top in a row, right? But so this down here needs its own activators, but because we only need to make 6 acid for the Acrogen, and we only need to make at least 2 for the Shirigen going to the gas station over here, I was like, hey, wait a second, can't I just timeshare this bad boy and make it do both? Yes, you can. So that made it a little bit easier, but what it really did was just save me some resources more than making it easier, because I still managed to break this out. So we come from the port, and that's what my notes are trying to say. That's what they're trying to say over here, right? So this is saying, okay, 30 comes out, 30's on the, I had a splitter right in front of it, right? So that's 30 on the splitter, split to the left, 15. Do it like that. So it would like go left, 15, and then you split again. So this is 30, 15 to the left, 15 down. Get to this splitter, the top gets 7.5, the left gets 7.5. Come down to the bottom, we have 15 here, right? And this is split into 7.5, 7.5, right? So I was messing around with this because I kept thinking I needed 3 of these over here. I forgot I took out the other fluid unit. So once I did that, it was really easy. It's like, oh, okay, doesn't matter. Like, if I needed more now one thing, if I need more, I can split this again to go in. So it'd be 15, 5, 5, 5. I'd split the third to go in, and then split again somewhere up here to bring down just enough, because it really just needs 12, right? It needs 12 here. So I'd do something to get like 13.25, right? 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.25, and I'd add that in. That would give me 10 plus 3.25, 13.25 divided by 2 is over 12, right? So instead of trying to get the exact numbers, because I know these activation ports can guzzle down up to 30, I was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter if I give them 7.5 or not. It doesn't matter, right? And same for here. It doesn't matter what comes in here as long as I have 36 on each or above, right? Now, I am capped a little bit because you can only send 120 through the pipe, but that's not really an issue because it's already 100, so it's like 107.5 coming in there. That's where this company is going. Okay, so I've got to work, and this is kind of what I made, but I don't really need to show this anymore because I just have it in game. It is a surprisingly clean setup. I was not expecting it to be this clean, but it also has a little bit of goofiness to it, which I actually really like. So the previous build was a little weird to me because I made it very, what I would consider sterile. Like, you see how clean everything is? It's like, oh, this is a nice straight line, split. It got a little curvy here, a little weird. But it's all very straight and nice, and that is very pleasing to the eye, don't get me wrong. I actually really like the way it looks. But I was like, man, it looks like, I don't know. You know how, yeah, I talked a lot about the chaos of Marker Stone, and how much I liked it. And I think just sometimes I like the chaos, sometimes I don't. So this is like an attempt to, okay, well, this could be a little funky, but I don't exactly like it. I think I want to move it over more, because I had to pack, you can see in the picture, I had to pack much closer. But that made this area feel extremely cramped, and I did not like that. But I think I'll make this like equidistance. So I think if I put it like here, 1 over or 2 over it, it'll look a little bit better. But anyway, so with all that said, that was how I got the pipe control ports down. And then on top of that, out at the gas station, this is what I have going on. So Energen is just over there. I think that's bringing like 30 or something. It doesn't matter how much Energen you bring in, as long as you don't bring in over under 12, which is almost impossible because one vent gives 20. So that's whatever. Now for back here, did I set these? I hope I did. Yes. Okay, I did set these. This should be 42. Yes. And then this is actually not this. The closest is 6. So I'll just leave it. Okay, so what's going on back here now? Okay, so what I had to do, I talked about this a little bit, so I won't go into it too much, but I needed to bring down 60 Shirigen, or get 60 Shirigen by itself, right? So I can split it into 30. This is going directly to the other Pyrolite gas globe that needs 30. So that's right here. That's this gas tank and inlet. Trace it back to there, all right? And that is the top 2 vents. So this one here is just 1, that's 20. This one over here is 2 high purities, that's 20 each, so 40. 40 plus 20 is 60. I can split it cleanly to get 30, right? So that's where this north pipe is going. The pipe, or not north, this pipe going up to the base is going. The one split to the right, going to the other conduit outlet, joins with the 40, which is the first vent you find. So this is 30 plus 40, that's 70. Right, and then I needed at least 2 more to get 72, and this is the 7.5 from the liquid Shirigen I just showed you, right? So that joins it. So this is 107.5, and it goes out, splits in half. So that's what 500 and I'm sorry, 59. Not 59. That'd be 49. Bro, I can't math today. 107 5 divided by 2. Jesus. 53. Oh my goodness. I went too far. 50. I was thinking of 50. I was thinking of 108 and how you get down from there. My bad. 53.75. Anyway. So that is what's being sent through all of these pipes. 53.5. That's what's going through all these, right? That's how I got around it. Was okay, well, I don't actually need just 6. That's what was that my thinking had to change. I don't need just 6. If I send more, it's fine, right? Because I'm not making extra pyrolite. If I was making extra pyrolite, god dang it, I would need to wait, if I hide all, alright, it's a little spooky though. There we go. If I was making extra pyrolite, I would need an extra solid gas transmuting unit. I could share this dispersing unit, and I could share this dispersing, the acrid and the energen. But I would need at least 6 more to power 1 more of these. That would be the thing. And I would have to probably do a little more splitting, but I'm not doing that, so it doesn't matter. And I'm not making hedonite here using gas either, by transforming it from powder or liquid into gas. So oh, and no, I would need 1 extra unit, so I would need 2. I would need 1 extra solid gas here, and then I would need another one over here to make it into pyrolite. So that's 12 more I would need to siphon off somewhere. But since I'm not doing that, I was able to just like overcharge. So that's what I have. And so what this goes to, I had to make a conduit route down to Ruling City, which was not bad. I want to show you something cool in this actually. So this is where I have it. And then it jumps to here. We kind of have it in the water. But I want to show you this. This looks really cool. And I don't quite know if this has been done before or what. As in if they've done it in the game. Not that I, did something new. When I place this conduit down, there's like these, I put it in the flower bed so it's off the path. And I noticed that it was like blue. Like it turns the conduits blue. And I was like, well, that's weird. You don't really see it reflected on the wall. Like, why do they look blue like this? Like,
you might find that useful.
But you can see it kind of down at the bottom on the wall a little bit. And I'm unsure if it's the flowers or some kind of lighting they put, but it makes this really cool blue effect on the conduits. I don't know, man. I don't know. It was really cool when I saw it, though. So, I figured I'd throw that out there. Of this blue light conduit. But now with this, what I was able to do is take the liquid shearnite reactor I had down here that was making aquagen and basically get the timeshare in a way by combining it with what's going on up in Yingling Pass and just pipe down the liquid shearnite to power this little fluid gas and make my aquagen. And I didn't even need a conduit anymore. I just run the water straight from there, right across. Which technically we don't even need these conduits. We can actually just run the water straight down, but I just didn't do it. I didn't do it. It's easier to me to just have the conduits there. Mostly because I also had this on the other side. It was down here before, so. Okay, I think that's all. That's all I wanted to yap about. I was thinking about releasing this, but I don't really want to do all the documentation. I'll be honest with you. If you have the factory, it works fine. You can just remove any control ports coming straight out of stuff. Especially, well, let me not say that. Don't do that. You can remove these 2 zircon ones and be fine. So I might put a little PSA in the text document about that. And something to pin about the comment. But I don't really want to remake all this in the document. So it'll be the 1.5 build. And I think with that, for most part of this patch, I think I'm done. Like, I might make some minor changes, but in terms of having, like, significant issues with the patch, I think, or the factory, I think I'm done. Also, this is the AIC report. It is working now. So that dip right there is me working on the factory when I was rebuilding it. So the numbers might be a little off because of that. But, yeah. But now we're sitting at a cool, even numbers like we're supposed to be. So as opposed to the 7-day, you can see, well, the 7-day is a little jacked up because this was like all rebuilds and stuff of the last weekend. And then here, so the numbers are even more jacked up, but you can still see that this should not be like 74 even still. So that's what I meant by a little bit was going down. This is different. Now it's rebuilds and stuff. So all right, that's all for today. I can now start working on all the other stuff I wanted to do, especially just a little guide on what each building does, each gas building does that came with this patch or something. I don't know. I gotta write all that out. All right, well, let me do some exploration and finally do this doubles event. All right, later, y'all.